We're in beta 2 season of macOS 27 and things are getting pretty wild. I'm going to run down 20 new features in macOS 27 like automatically suggesting file names in the Finder, iPhone mirroring resizing, which really points to a foldable, all the incredible new Siri AI features, expanded touch support in Sidecar, which really feels like touchscreen Macs, video podcast Safari changes, and a ton more. Number 1, your Mac can suggest file names. If you go up to Finder and then Settings, you'll see under the General tab, Suggest File Names. Make sure that's checked, and then the next time you open a Finder window, go to a file that's not named yet, like this unknown.jpg, and if you click once, like you're about to rename the file, just wait a second, and you'll see suggestions pop up. It says person with butterfly. It's actually the primary tech pin, but you get the idea. Works great for screenshots. This one actually pulled from the text in the screenshot. This is a morning routine question. Really useful. Next, when you're going to edit Control Center, you can finally hide these suggestions. Well, now you can go to System Settings, go down to the Menu Bar option, and then at the top you'll see Show Suggestions in Control Gallery. Just toggle that off. Now the next time you go to edit the controls, you'll have a much cleaner look. Now while there are lots of great menu bar utilities out there, in macOS 27, when you add enough icons to the menu bar where it goes past the notch, these little 2 arrows will appear automatically and allow you to show and hide those extra icons. And while we're here, let's look at Sidecar support because it's gotten better touch controls. So I just enabled Sidecar on the iPad Pro. Let me open an app like Shortcuts and drag it over, and now I can use Mac apps here on my iPad in Sidecar like it's a touchscreen Mac. I can tap over, I can single finger scroll, which is new, even system gestures like selecting and dragging certain parts of the screen. I can enable hot corners and even my notification center by tapping in the corner. Really feels like they're getting ready for maybe touchscreen Macs. And speaking of potential new form factors, if I open iPhone mirroring here on my MacBook Air, and if I go into an app like Apple Podcasts, I can reformat the screen and even click and drag it, so maybe it's almost iPad size, and Podcasts will reformat however I want. When I go back home, it's going to format back to the regular iPhone screen. And if you're in an app that you resized before, you can go up to View and you'll see this action, which is iPhone size. So I'll do Command 9, that goes back to the regular iPhone size. But again, like the new Sidecar updates might lead to a touchscreen Mac, this really feels like what if you unfolded your iPhone and it became a bigger iPhone? Interesting. All right, now let's talk about Spotlight. In macOS 27, Spotlight is both Siri AI and Spotlight, which has better indexing. Now you still have access to Command 1, which is searching for applications, Command 2, which is searching your files, Command 3, which is searching for actions and shortcuts, and then Command 4, which is your clipboard history. But now when you start typing in that Spotlight window, it's going to try and predict, is this a general knowledge question, or are you trying to find something on your Mac? Now I can still do stuff like start typing the name of an app, hit Tab, and then it will jump to Pixelmator Pro, and then I can look for something like BT Thumb. That's my thumbnail file for videos. But you can also ask it general knowledge questions now, like how tall is Ryan Gosling? Now when I hit return, it's actually going to ask Siri AI. But you'll also see underneath, there are show results from other places that might have indexed around your phone. You can see showing results will actually show you maybe web results, something from your photos, and it will still return things like Wikipedia entries. It's saying it's 6 feet, and you can still search iCloud, Finder, and other places. But if I were to just hit return without selecting any of those other options, it's going to start working and then use the Siri AI general knowledge. Apparently he's 6 feet, 0.5 inches. And get a nice picture of them too. So not only is Spotlight both search and Siri, Siri is also available in contextual menus around your Mac. For instance, we'll go back to Finder here and I'll select multiple files this time. And when I 2-finger click, you'll see the Ask Siri option is right there. When I click in the window, I can tell it something simple like, tell me about these files. And it explains these are 2 PNG images, one is a screenshot of beard.fm, other is a close-up of the Safari toolbar from that same page. That's pretty good. And it gives me even more bullet points. Then I can ask follow-up questions and attach photos and files directly to the Siri conversation. Now this gets more powerful when I want to ask questions about maybe long documents like PDFs. So I'm going to select 2 files. This is a PDF of an Onkyo receiver and another one of my Denon receiver. And with those 2 files selected, I can do the same thing. 2-finger click and ask Siri. And I'll ask it a question like, compare the surround sound formats across these 2 receivers. And now I have a detailed breakdown of both of those receivers. It gave me bullet points talking about surround sound formats for both models, and it even built me a table comparing the 2. I didn't even ask for that. If I expand that, it'll open it in the Siri AI app. I can expand this window, and there's my table comparing the 2. Pretty sweet. Now before we get more into the Siri AI app, let me show you more personal context questions you can ask. I know my son is actually traveling this weekend, but I'm going to ask a super vague question, like, what time should I leave for the airport this weekend? I'm not going to say why or what airport, but it's going to look through my texts and my emails for all the relevant information, and like that demo that Apple showed off 2 years ago that didn't deliver, this one delivers. Not only did it look in my email so I can see the exact flight, the date and time, tells me the departure date, and I can ask a follow-up question. I asked it if I want to arrive 2 hours before departure and I'm leaving from home, when should I leave? And because Siri has all that knowledge and personal context and index, it tells me approximately how long the drive is and the time I should leave. I can even click on the directions right here and it will open in Apple Maps. You can also ask it multi-step requests like, find the recent photo I took of headphones and text those to Dad. So it found a recent photo of headphones, that's me wearing them, and it should send. Now, all those conversations are also saved in the dedicated Siri app. You can see all the past conversations like the airport departure, the home theater comparison, all of those are right here, and I can continue those conversations, or when I start a new one with the Siri app, I can click the plus icon and then add photos or files to my request. So maybe I'll add one of those PDFs again and I'll ask a question. Does this receiver support 4K output and at what refresh rates? This could also work for giving it a transcript of a podcast, something you downloaded from a website, and then you can get quick answers and have follow-up conversations all right here. You can also pin things to the top, so if I want to pin this comparison between the Denon and Yamaha, I can do that right here. And Siri AI is even better with visual intelligence on the Mac. Let's say I come across a picture, maybe it's on social media or a website, and I want to ask more about it. Well, now I can do Shift-Command-6, and that will start crosshairs like you're taking a screenshot. But when I select a part of the screen, now I can do a reverse image search or ask Siri about it. So I'll click Ask Siri, and a simple, what is this request? It'll look it up, and it tells me that this is a cardinal, and a bunch of key facts about it as well. That's a pretty boss photo of that cardinal. Let's say I see something, maybe it's a social media post, I want to know where I can buy it. Well, I'll do Command-Shift-6, select the item right here, and I can either do a reverse image search and see what Google gives me, or I can click Ask Siri and say, where can I buy this? Tapping the image search will open this little window, and I have reverse Google images, there's my own Instagram post, and the product on Amazon. Alternatively, I'll select it again, and this time ask Siri, where can I buy this? And the Siri results, not as good as actually the reverse Google image search, didn't tell me where to buy it on Amazon, so maybe when you're looking for products, do the Google one instead. Now, a couple more visual intelligence features. If you ever wanted to add multiple dates or reminders all at once, Siri AI is actually pretty good at that now. Maybe you're looking at a concert poster like this, and I used to build shortcuts to be able to parse screenshots with this information, but now I can do the same Command-Shift and the number 6, select that part of the screen, which is a bunch of dates and places, and if I wait a moment, you'll now see the Add to Calendar option. It automatically recognized that these were dates. And when you click that, you'll get this little pop-up that shows you all the dates it's going to add. It pulled all the dates correctly. I can then choose what calendar to add these to, and I can add all 15 events at once. This could also work if you want to add ingredients to the grocery list in reminders. So here I'm on the ingredients. I'll do the same Shift-Command-6, highlight all of those, and then I'll click Ask Siri, add these items as reminders to my grocery list. It's going to work for a second, parse the individual items, and now it's added 6 items to my grocery list. I can double click that if I want to open it. There's my grocery list with all the items from that screenshot. Siri AI in general is really impressive. I did an entire video on it. You can scan this QR code and I'll link it in YouTube if you want to watch a bunch of demos with personal context, world knowledge, and a ton more. But let's jam through some more new features. One, if you have Ethernet connected to your Mac, if you go to Control Center, and then click on your Wi-Fi settings, it will show you that Ethernet is connected and the method. I have it here through a USB-C adapter. Also, Safari is getting a bunch of updates like pull to refresh, so you can just kind of pull down on the website and it will refresh it rather than having to do Command-R. Also feels like a touchscreen Mac feature. There's also a new Notify Me feature, so maybe there's a page and you want to know if there's any changes to it, like my Now page where I post all my videos, podcasts, and more. Well, I can click this symbol in the address bar and then go to Notify Me. Then I can describe a change, like let me know whenever there's a new post added, let me know the price change of a product, even suggest price drops here, and it will check every day. Unfortunately, you can't do it any more often than once a day, but still a nice change. And there's also the incredible new Describe a Safari extension. Here, you can describe any extension you want. I've actually built a ton and did an entire video just on those. You can scan this QR code if you want to watch 10 plus extensions I built with this. And unfortunately, I can't share any, so you would have to just kind of copy and paste the prompts that I put in that video description. But you can describe an extension like download all images on the current page. Describe an extension will suggest third-party apps that might already do what you're looking for, sometimes for a cost or a subscription. But if you don't want any of those, just click Create, and you can add as many of those extensions in the toolbar as you would like. And if you tend to have a lot of tabs open, you can now have Safari automatically arrange them for you. I'll go up to Safari and then Settings. Then when you go over to the Tabs tab, at the top you can organize tabs and choose Automatically Create Topics. When you set it that way, you can see it just put all the pages that I was just browsing into this topic called Smart Locks. Then you can expand or shrink those, and when you have lots of pages open, it will categorize them accordingly. Next, Podcast for Mac is getting proper video support. So when you go to a podcast like Movies on the Side, that's my movies podcast by the way, you can play an episode, and it will play the video right here in Apple Podcasts. And if you play a show that has chapters and a follow-along transcript like Primary Technology, that's my tech podcast by the way, you can follow with this QR code, you now have the chapters right here. So glad those are back. And there's also the follow-along transcript you can toggle down here, and it's going to highlight the active words just like it does with audio-only shows. Really nice. And also Apple TV is getting video podcast support in tvOS 27. Weather's getting some updates here in macOS 27, especially here under the conditions pane. So right here it's showing conditions. I can go over. There's a new highlights here at the top of a location. And in the conditions window, you can go to precipitation and wind conditions. Remember, still a beta. It's only beta 2. Freeform is getting some updates like folders, and you can now draw on the Mac with your trackpad. Interesting, another touch-based type feature. But I'll go over here to the draw tools and I can do stuff like that. And like on screenshots, if you want to draw a perfect circle, just hold the endpoints for a moment and you'll be able to do that. Even a shape like a square, just hold the endpoints and, well, it's more of a rectangle, but you can draw with your trackpad. Last few little changes, they've reduced the amount of icons here in the menu bar, which is a welcome change. It was getting very cluttered, and now there's just a few, ideally ones that just make a difference visually. Also, better support for corner radii uniformity. So if I drag a bunch of windows right here, you can see corners are more uniform. And last but not least, the liquid glass slider. So if you go over to System Settings, go down to Appearance, you now have the liquid glass slider, so you can make it as opaque as you want or as transparent as you want. I think I'm going to ride it pretty much all the way to the right. I think it's going to help a little bit with Control Center when there's content behind it, but you got options now. So those are some of the big changes coming to macOS 27, and I have videos on all the platforms, features only coming to iPad, 30 new features for iOS 27, and the changes in shortcuts. I'll link a couple of those videos right here, and get subscribed, hit that like button. Any changes coming to iOS 27 and all the platforms across the betas, I'm going to be covering it right here on the channel. And we're going to be building a ton of fun shortcuts with the new actions, like the ability to store data right in shortcuts and even make it global, so it syncs across all your devices, and new automation triggers like notifications, keyboard, screenshots, and a ton more. All that's happening right here. As always, thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you next time.